everyone, this is Gator and or Airhead, and this is episode 5 of Gagatalk. That's halfway to 10, which is impressive to me because I'm not really a person to be consistent with things. I tend to jump around a lot of hobbies. I tend to jump around a lot of activities and never really stick with one. And I'm very consistent. I've been doing this for almost a month now. Coming up on it, yeah. So, hey, episode 5 of Gagatalk. Let's get it. We're going to tackle some advice in this episode. I would like to consider myself a very insightful person whenever it comes to giving advice. And some of the questions I've got can be answered with one answer, a majority of them. I'll just read them out. You are the most extroverted person I know. I've literally explained you to various family members or to various family friends as someone who is able to talk to anyone and have it not be awkward. My question is, how are you able to push yourself out of your comfort zone so effortlessly and consistently to try out new things? Another question is stagnance. The question is how to avoid stagnance. Another question is the importance of special interests and why. And another question is how to be yourself without people caring. And I think those can all be answered with one answer. Don't be afraid to go out there and do it. And I think the big fear of going out and trying new things is the idea of putting effort and energy into something and the only return being diminishing, the only return being embarrassing. You're human. It's not a golden path with clouds all around you to success. It's a rocky road. And you're going to trip and fall and scrape your knees on that rocky road. Right? And it's going to suck. But you're going to gain experience. It's going to be a fun journey. You got to make it fun. You got to make everything fun. You got to make doing hardships, or you got to make going through hardships fun. And that sounds strange to say, right? I don't like to bring up track. I think I brag a lot. I bragged a lot whenever I was in track. I leave that past behind. I was terrible at track when I first started it. I tried out a new thing, I pushed myself out of the comfort zone to go and do a sport. I love being inside. I hate working out, right? I was working out every day, and I got a little lazy towards the end of track, or towards the majority of track. But, I worked out a lot more than I usually did. Got myself out of the comfort zone, and it was a rocky road. My first year of track was set in stone with a bunch of losses. I was losing all the time. And, I eventually got tired of losing, so I worked harder, and I started winning. I got actually so bored of winning that I told my coach to stop putting me in easy meets. I was like, hey, I'll only go to invitationals. I don't want to be at the local meets anymore. They're not challenging. It's a waste of my time. I don't get any drive from it. I pushed myself out of the comfort zone because, I had to. And the main reason why I did it, and this is not really advice, it's because I was bored. And not only bored, I was not content with the way I was living my life. And it took me having to not be content with my life to actually decide to push myself out of my comfort zones. And for stagnance, the key to stagnance or avoiding stagnance is go outside. Go do new stuff. The key to special interests and why they're important, they make you. Push yourself out of your comfort zone and find a special interest. How to be yourself without people caring. Understand that you're not always gonna look cool. You gotta go out, look like a fool, just find you. And understand that most of the time, the only people who do care are like scared of their own flaws. Okay, I'm gonna cut this off right here for a second. It's so stormy outside. It looks like a hurricane out there. That's kind of threatening. That is a scary storm. So my power might go out during this recording of Gagatalk. But the St. Augustine has been plagued by storms. I think the entire East Coast has been plagued by storms the past week, and it's been rough. It's been super rough. But power's going out. I recently had a CS tournament, and one of my teammates' powers went out. And we had to get disqualified. But, it's whatever. It's whatever. It's the weather's fault. So I've had to go. All right, so to go back on the topic of like advice, how to love. How to love is a dangerous topic, but a simple answer can be given to that topic, and it's as simple as finding the flaws in your partner and understanding their flaws and accepting their flaws. Once you figure out how to do that, it's as simple as just spending time with them and appreciating their presence. You know, understand that you're not gonna find the perfect boyfriend. You know, one of my favorite anime ever is Monogatari series, or is the Monogatari series, and one of my favorite like quotes from it, or my favorite message from it, is at the end of the first like series. It's so hard to explain Monogatari. For those who understand Monogatari, you know what I'm saying. But for at the end of the first anime, there is a scene where she's like, "What do you love about me?" And the main character's like, "I love everything about you. There's nothing about you I don't love." The reason why that stuck with me is because, you know, he understands her flaws and he accepts them and appreciates them as they are synonymous with her because he loves her. He is able to love Senjigahara, who's the character, because he accepts her flaws. And I think that's the key to love. That's the key to love. The key to fake friends, or like fake friends and like why they suck, I guess, is the question. Or how to solve fake friends is just weed them out. Set boundaries, respect those boundaries, respect your friends' boundaries, and you know, if they break them consistently, maybe they're not a good friend. Maybe they don't need to be in your life. You don't need to be confrontational. You could just stop talking to them. And you know, if they nag on about like, why aren't you talking to me? Explain to them, hey, I think you've been disrespecting my boundaries. I think, you know, maybe we should like back off each other. Maybe we're not meant to be in each other's lives. And you know, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. You're gonna miss them. They're gonna miss you. But you know, you're not gonna miss your boundaries being broken. Just respect yourself. The key to fake friends is respect yourself. That's also the key to love. That's also the key. The key to everything is respecting yourself. Find out how to do that, and you will succeed. It's so stormy. I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder in this recording. That's gonna be a pretty cool audio. You know, we got background noise. I went to a rave recently, an anime rave in Jacksonville. It's called the We Touch Grass rave. Really cool rave. That was my first like rave ever. I went to a rave. This convention that happens in Orlando every winter. It's called Holiday Matsuri. They have raves in one of the hotels, and that was so cool. That I don't think that counts as like a rave though. You know, this was my first rave in like a club setting. So I was seeing some crazy stuff I don't want to talk about. But I'll just talk about one key memory. When we were leaving the rave, we left the rave at like 2:30 a.m. I just got, oh my god. That's obnoxious that I got a text message. We were leaving the rave at like 2:30 a.m. in the morning, and we're walking out. Right as we get to where I parked, this red Supra comes drifting out of the parking lot, and then it drifts around a corner, but it like messes up the drift, and it runs the curb and hits a parking meter. The parking meter gets lodged into the hood of the Supra, and Supras are expensive, right? I was looking at Supras when I was shopping for my car. Oh my gosh, good golly. I almost considered it. Because they look so cool. But that's a large sum of money being put into a car. This guy drifts his brand new Supra into a parking meter, and it just crashes it. And you know, it's Jacksonville. It's downtown Jax. So it's like GTA there, regardless. But that was nuts seeing that in person. Especially at that hour. And he's like, you know, whatever. My car got destroyed. He speeds off. That was crazy. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, and it's going to sound weird because, you know, What the hell does this have to correlate with what you're about to say? That's an awesome memory. The importance of getting out is unfathomable. It's unfathomable. Getting outside of your room, and it all comes back to the first question. How do you push yourself out of your comfort zone? I get out. I go do stuff. The importance of getting out is so... It's necessary. Right? You gotta get out. You gotta go to concerts. You gotta go to the club. You gotta go party. You gotta go socialize. You know? Hey, let's go to the beach. Yes! Let's go to the beach. Go body surf. Go boogie board. Go swim. Go do all these really cool things. You know, there's more to life than just sitting in your room and playing on your computer all day. And I'm a victim to that. I love sitting in my room and playing on my computer. Right? I could do it forever. But I also understand the importance of getting out, right? If there's like a local farmer's market, go walk around, you know? Go do something that's not... And it may be unproductive in your eyes. Here, let me talk about this too. I love getting off topic. I'm sorry. I bounce around topics like crazy. Productivity is such a trick, you know? In my eyes, everything is productive. If it makes you happy, you're being productive. If sitting in your room all day makes you happy, you're being productive. But it's also really unhealthy, and I'm here to tell you to not do that. Go outside and explore and do fun stuff. Go to concerts. Go to, like, parties. Like, just go on a walk. That's productive. Productivity is figuring out and, like, productivity is just being happy. And doing stuff that makes you happy while also keeping you healthy. And I think getting out is important in that sense. That's all I really want to talk about. This is going to be a really short episode. And I think it's just going to be a lot of yapping. But, you know, I try my best to formulate my thoughts tangibly and, you know, get it out to you guys. I feel like I only scratched the surface of what I said. I could dig deeper, but if I did dig deeper, I would just start repeating myself over and over again, and I feel like I already did enough of that this episode. So, love you guys. Oh wait, I do have a game in the background called Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Go check it out. Slept on Borderlands game. I'm going to talk about Borderlands in the next episode, because that's my favorite game series of all time. But, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Follow, like, subscribe, go listen to my album, go just look in the description, go to those links. Thank you. Y'all have a good day.